quarter, folks, here on Pigskin Holiday. Second quarter is brought to you by Cat Jackson's favorite sponsor, Cat Weed. Works every time. All right, let's go over some scores, some more scores from week 7 in the NFL. Let's get some of the good stuff. Let's talk about the Saints and the Colts. Now, this is what I want to tell you. It was NBC Sunday Night Football, Football Night in America. Always a good show. Sometimes it's better than Monday Night Football.
It is.
And then it was 34-7 at the half.
Wow.
I was like, holy shit, right? And then, when they came back for the third quarter, the comment was made that that Sean Payton, who was also doing the game from the coach's box, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
They did fine. The comment was made that we, as New Orleans Saints, right now, tonight, are going to come out here and become who we're going to be the rest of the year. We're not going to let up in the second half. And they didn't. They won 62-7. Holy shit. The Colts didn't do much. Let's talk about the bad side of this coin.
Yes.
All right? Curtis Painter. I was trying to get the guy some props, but he was 9 of 17 for 67 yards.
Wow.
What happened?
What happened?
On the flip side of the coin, Drew Brees was 31 of 35, folks. He only missed 4 passes.
Holy crap! Holy crap!
325 yards and 5 touchdowns. Mario, the touchdowns went to who?
Well, let's see. We got Marcus Colston, 7 receptions, 98 yards, 2 touchdowns. Pierre Thomas, 5 receptions, 68 yards, no touchdowns.
Oh.
But Graham had 6 receptions, 54 yards, also 2 touchdowns.
Oh!
Yeah.
Sproles had a touch. That was good. I tell you what, that guy's little.
Dude. Yeah, and he is fast.
But he was all over it last night. I mean, sometimes the stats don't look as good as what the plays they make. And Sproles looked good last night.
Yeah.
So I guess they're not missing Olin Kreutz too much. CT, here's what I want to know. Who's playing for what? The Colts or the Dolphins or the Rams?
I don't think that the Rams are. I mean, Bradford's good, and he's just got nobody to throw to. It's kind of an opposite situation on the other 2 teams right now. They have people to throw to, but nobody to get the ball to them. So I'm thinking that it's probably going to end up being the Colts that go for them. Out of those 2, if I was to pick one of those 2, it would be the Colts.
Well, I guess if you look at who has a better chance to win a game this year, it would be the Dolphins instead of the Colts.
Yeah.
The Rams should win a game.
Right. Should.
Here's what I want to say about the Colts. First of all, Jim Caldwell is, I still think, I have a lot of respect for him as a coach to deal with the situation. No Peyton Manning. I think they kind of knew that was possible going in. But man, they're just not used to that there. It's always been, Peyton's been there for everything.
He stepped into pretty much like the best position that any head coach could be in the NFL whenever he took a job.
The Cowboys went through it with Switzer and whatnot,
Right.
and some other teams. Who's the other team? Was it John Gruden that inherited a good team? I'm on the wrong path. Anyway, here's my statement, folks. If you're the Indianapolis Colts, you're an NFL football team. I know you don't have Peyton Manning. We all felt sorry for you for about a couple days. I mean, it sucks, but you got to play football.
Yep.
You're all professionals. There's no reason why you can't go out there and perform on the field and score some points. I don't know. It's a fundamental game. You catch it, pass it, you tackle. It seems like they could be doing better. I know that they're trying to play with the quarterback that probably didn't plan on playing because it's always Peyton.
Yeah.
But they could do better, I think. I mean, the Dolphins are playing better football than the Colts are.
I mean,
They're competitive. The Rams are on the brink. The defense keeps them in games early against Green Bay, against Dallas. First quarter is always like a 7-0, I think, both weeks. So they got to do a better job, CT. They're still a professional football team.
absolutely. I mean, like you had just mentioned, he probably didn't plan on playing. I mean, at the same time, though, somebody else who didn't plan on playing was Matt Castle whenever Tom Brady went out. And look at what he did. So that's not an excuse whatsoever.
Well, they did bring in Kerry Collins, which didn't show much faith in Painter to begin with.
Well, either which way, though. Either one of them could be doing better at this point than what they are.
Which sort of leads me to Blaine Gabbert. I mean, we'll get into that later. They're playing tonight against Baltimore, but like, That's not working out super great, but
Yeah.
they gave him the nod after they tried McCown first and got rid of Garrard. So it's a mental thing sometimes. These quarterbacks are fragile porcelain of mice.
Ooh. Nice. Yeah. You know, and it's just kind of with the Gabbard situation. You know, it goes back to he doesn't really have many people to throw to. There's not really a whole lot of standout wide receivers in Jacksonville, especially since Sims Walker left, and he was pretty much all they had last year.
Yeah.
And he was, you know, he's done nothing so far this year. That's why the Rams released him. So, you know,
it's pretty bad if the Rams say you're a bad receiver.
as far as as far as this goes, though, you know, you would just there's really no excuse for either of these teams being 0-7 at this point. Or one 0-6 and then the other one 0-7.
I think there's never an excuse in the NFL to not win a game.
Right.
You're professional football players. That's
Yeah.
easy for us to say sitting here on the Pigskin holiday set in the Pig Sty, but that's the way it is, folks. All right, let's go on to something else, like the Washington-Carolina game.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know, they had pulled Grossman last week, decided to go with Beck this week.
Right.
But let's talk about Cam Newton, shall we?
Absolute.
He ran for his 7th touchdown of the year, which ties an NFL record. And that's the first of many for Cam Newton, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
33-20, the Panthers win. What's that, their third win?
Second.
Yep.
Second. Yeah, third.
That is their third.
Yeah.
So, there's going to be more.
Yeah.
But Washington has been decimated by injuries for 2 weeks in a row.
Oh yeah.
Last week they lost 2 linemen and a tight end. This week a running back and a wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Man, what a nightmare in Washington.
Two big, especially one huge playmaker. I mean, Santana Moss, like down, you know, at least for the next 7 weeks with a hand.
Oh wow.
It's just, you know, that's huge. I mean, especially last week losing Chris Cooley. I mean, that's another one for your short yardage games. It's, you know, and then on top of that, losing Tim Hightower, who's not really been like amazing.
He hasn't been lights out.
Yeah, he hasn't been lights out, but he's been at least a little bit more consistent than he has in the past few years, as far as like, you know, with the.
How come I can't do it?
A little more consistent this year, you know, as far as like when he was with Arizona, who didn't do much.
I gotta work on that, dude.
We'll get there.
Fail.
Fail.
Little
but he still
AWOL
had,
nation for you.
He still had 17 carries for 88 yards, so I mean, not a horrible day, but
you know, CT, this is the NFL where the ups and downs are sometimes cruel. The Redskins started out pretty good,
They did.
and then it just fell apart.
Yep.
Kind of like Tennessee.
Yeah. Well, Tennessee started off bad, started doing good, and now they're doing bad.
The ebb and flow of the NFL, folks.
It's crazy. You can never count on any consistencies other than something we'll talk about a little bit.
Somebody's going to be inconsistent. That's what you can count on.
That's the main consistency.
All right, so on to our next game. That would be. Oh, that thing. Yes.
Yeah.
Going from the Colts to the Panthers. We had a certain YouTube comment this week that CT wants to touch on to compare the rookie season of Peyton Manning to one Cam Newton. And CT, what you got for us?
Well, this was from one of our, I guess, regular viewers, Affliction187. So this is our first official shout out to somebody for a comment.
Boom!
So congrats on that. But he kind of tossed out some interesting stats for us to compare here.
Yes, he did.
Peyton Manning, who is basically the standard for a quarterback.
Him and Brady, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think Brady's. I think Peyton is more of a. When he's in the game plan, he dictates a lot of what's going to happen with the audible and the checks. Brady's more of a. We have a system. I'm using my advantage. So
Yeah. And then Cam Newton. He compared the two. Kind of gave us a breakdown of their rookie season up to this point. So let's just touch on Manning's rookie season to start with. This was in 1998. And he was 113 for 210. Which is, you know, a 53.8% completion ratio. Not too awful bad. He had 1,346 yards. Not too bad. 6 touches, 14 interceptions. Now, 14 interceptions and Peyton Manning kind of don't really go hand in hand.
about 1.25 a week.
Yeah.
That's still not bad considering.
Not really, but I mean.
But you want your touchdown to interception ratio to be a little flops the other way.
Right. You want more touchdowns, ideally. Well.
No.
Well, that's what I heard.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I went
I'm
to
in the wrong business.
John Madden Academy of football.
See, the point of the offense is to score touchdowns.
Yes. Well, anyway, he gave us Cam Newton
Frank
stats up to this point. He's 134 for 229, already better. That's a 58.5% completion ratio. He has over 1,800 yards at 1,847 right now. He's got 7 touchdowns, and he's got only 9 interceptions.
So he'll get that number flopped around here pretty soon.
I think so. At the rate he's going, especially getting these rushing touchdowns like he is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
7 of them.
yeah. He's all over.
It's
the
week
place.
7.
Yeah. Yeah. A rushing touchdown a game.
How does this happen? But anyway, I just kind of wanted to touch on that because I thought that was a pretty cool stat.
It's really
that he tossed
interesting,
up.
actually, yeah.
Thank
And-
you to Affliction 187. We
Yeah.
appreciate that. I believe the Colts were 1-15 that year.
I
Were
think
they
so.
not something like that?
They did not do very well.
I think Aikman came into the league something similar to that.
Yeah, they were awful. But
Not as many picks, I don't think. But
Yeah, they were awful the first year that Jimmy Johnson coached them.
speaking of picks, there's a game we're going to talk about later that we're going to find out about. Not one quarterback throwing picks, but 2 of them. Who didn't do much?
Who didn't do much?
Cat Jackson did a lot. Now he's tired. What's up, Cat Jackson? That cat there working on you, huh? Got the dry mouth, don't you?
Got that little smoky.
He looks away all hazy eyes.
He's high as hell.
Like,
Let's
don't
talk
even look
about
at me.
Pittsburgh and Arizona. We discussed last week what we were saying, not to count out the Steelers. He was like, I don't take them seriously yet, but he's open to be proven different. They are starting to warm up like usual, and they will be a good run for the postseason. But Big Ben was 361 yards passing and 3 touchdowns yesterday. But the big thing is, one of our unspoken heroes as of late that we mentioned a while back, Wallace, 118 yards.
Wow.
Brown had 102, so Ben was throwing the ball around.
Yeah, yeah.
But when Wallace broke that 95-yard touchdown, that was the longest pass play in Pittsburgh Steelers history.
Nice.
One of the records they spoke of. Kevin Cole of Arizona, 272 yards and 2 touchdowns. Not a shabby game. But otherwise, 32-20.
Not bad, especially against a stingy Pittsburgh defense.
Oh yeah. By the way, Palomalu got fined like 10 grand. Remember last week he got hurt with a concussion, and he called his wife to tell her he's okay. They fined him 10 grand for that.
Wow.
Well, all I can say is they're JOs.
Yeah. I mean, granted, he probably could have had someone else make the call for him.
Yeah, but
I don't have a problem letting your wife know you're okay.
No.
If it was Jen and I'd be in trouble if I didn't.
Yeah. I bet with the same situation
You
as
only sit
that.
here for
with
3
them.
hours. What if you're okay? I'm sorry, babe. I didn't want you to find 10 grand.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on to the Rams and Cowboys.
Go ASAP.
Yes.
God, there's so many directions to go here. Let's just first of all say that Bradford did not play, of course. Feely started the game. Jackson was back.
Feely actually had more yardage than Romo did.
Here we go again. Remember last week, Bradford had more than Rodgers.
Yep.
So, what is the deal? I mean, it's just our punter yesterday
MVP.
had more face time than anybody.
MVP.
Now, first off, Ed, I would like to congratulate you on a win, and then on your loss, I would like to say,
Finally, a game I couldn't lose.
yeah, I mean,
Right, yeah.
hey, no matter how you looked at that, it was going to come out where you was going to win that one.
Well, again, the first quarter it was only 7-0. They had that 91-yard run by Demarco Murray, who we'll talk about in a minute, and then the defense held pretty firm. But the second half is a whole different story.
Yeah.
That
The
seems
Rams
to
were
be the
still.
case.
What I did notice, Mario, was that they did give the ball to Lloyd a lot, or tried to.
Yeah, they did, and it seemed like Lloyd actually kind of, I mean, for being out of the system for especially all of the off season and then preseason and then 7 games in or 8, 6 games in, for not knowing the offense to still get 74 yards receiving is not bad. Especially, he knows the offense. He just needs to get reaffiliated with the offense. So Yeah,
I mean, it was good to see them trying to get to him, but at the same time, the other receivers can't complain. They haven't been doing well. So,
Right.
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
I think Alexander's been he's been very close to breaking a good.
Salas is
game.
kind of pushing his way in there too, like getting
Very
a little bit more
impressive,
FaceTime.
Salas.
So
Yep.
you know, yeah,
And Hendricks has come back pretty good. I mean,
Yeah.
Hendricks.
Ken-
Kendricks.
right.
Wow, wow, wow.
That's the wrong segment. We don't do
That's
that
Mario's
here.
territory.
Oh,
We don't do
Let's
that
talk
here.
about Dallas Cowboys history right quick.
yes.
If you guys recall, way back in the day on Monday Night Football against Minnesota, Tony
Yeah.
Dorsett broke a 99-yard run, and that was the longest run in the Cowboys history. Well, yesterday, Demarco Murray did it, 91 yards, second longest in Cowboys history.
Mhm.
But also, DeMarco Murray had 253 yards yesterday, folks, in his 6th NFL game,
Holy crap!
replacing Marion Jones,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Marion Barber.
Barber. Felix Jones. Jones. Marion Barber's in Chicago.
Right.
Felix Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Cat Jackson, can you help us out here?
I think you had too much Cat Jackson's cat weed.
Anyway, but that 91-yard run by DeMarco Murray was the longest first touchdown run by a rookie since the 1970 AFL-NFL merger.
Wow.
Some more information
Wow.
for
Yeah.
you. And also that was a record. That is now the Dallas Cowboys rushing record for a single game.
Wow.
So there you go. The stats on that are remarkable.
Yeah. Yeah. Holy cow.
Absolute.
But
What's the touchdown record? I wonder. Did he get that too? 253 with 3 touchdowns.
I don't think so.
Well, now, just to kind of burst the bubble here just a little bit, though. They were playing against the Rams, though. So,
But to kind
to me, that takes away some of that grandiose, record-breaking news.
Yeah, but the Rams are no sloughs when it comes to a rushing
Their
defense.
defense has been keeping them in games, just not for 4 quarters.
Right.
But you have a good point, CT.
I mean-
you have a good point.
If they would have pulled that off against almost any other team, that would have been a lot more impressive. Any other team except for, Miami and the Colts.
Well, but I go back to my Colts point. It's NFL football. It's fundamental. So to run 253 yards by one guy against the defense, there's still 11 guys trying to stop him.
Yeah.
So,
There's 11 guys not able to tackle, which is the
oh,
first
dude,
thing
that
to learn
91-yard run, he
Ridiculous.
totally undressed that dude.
Yeah, it was just stupid.
That was a bad read on his part. Bad read.
Broke his ankles.
And he untied his shoes, I think.
Right.
Oh no! He is shoeless! Oh no!
4 points, and DeMarco Murray having 253 yards against the Rams.
Right.
The Saints scored 62 against the Colts.
Mm-hmm.
Although they had 34 in the first half, they didn't stop in the second half.
Well,
It's still pretty good, but
the difference there to me is up until this game, the Colts have been trying. They've been competitive.
yeah.
The Rams haven't been nearly as competitive, in my opinion. They've had some flashes of brilliance where they've done decent, but that's about it.
Well, that was hard to get a hold
9
of.
minutes later.
Way to go, Jen. We're like, huh?
I thought that our battery was going down.
I thought something
The
wrong.
memory card, something very wrong. But no, it's just us being Riri's.
But yeah, I mean, the Steelers, that was a good game, 32-20 over Arizona. They're breaking some big play, and Wallace, I tell you what, he's the Heinz Ward of this year.
Yeah, and he's a player that I wish I had on my team.
What's our time, Jen?
2030.
20 minutes?
Dang!
Holy crap.
Oh no!
Well, that's it for the second quarter, folks. Here, we'll see you after halftime on Pigskin Holiday.